Check the description for more game reviews, playlists, and videos. Metal Gear Online is back, people. Needless to say, I'm excited because from the beginning of the trailer, it looked like we got the MGO we knew and loved back. What was apparent to me from the first few moments of the trailer were that Kojima Productions LA really wanted to make this game feel like the marvel that was Metal Gear Online 2, which released with and ran on the same engine as Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots. The game mode showcase, which may or may not be in the final game, seemed to be focused around a sneaking team which must reach a destination to steal a target, and a defending team localized in a particular area to defend the target, similar to Rescue Mission. Character customization will come back, and if you look closely at the faces and clothes of the character, it seems like you'll have the same creative freedom in customizing your character as you had in MGO2. It also seems like you may be able to customize your loadout and choose which weapons you want to use from the beginning of the match. I'm not sure if the way the costume is selected at the beginning is just a theatrical part of the trailer or an actual gameplay mechanic, but we'll have to see. I would like to have more than 3 sets of clothing to choose from. Next, we see the return of the E-Locator and some sort of SOP-esque mechanic which allows players to see allies and enemies through walls. One of the most interesting parts about this sequence was that one of the players had stealth on while the others did not. Will stealth be a customizable skill in this game, or a piece of equipment, or will it be its own separate game mode, or both? I really want to see the iconic modes like Team Sneaking and Stealth Deathmatch return, so I hope the stealth mechanic is not reserved simply for an individual basis, though it may be cool if some people can utilize stealth camouflage in game modes like Deathmatch and Team Deathmatch. I've heard from some people that cloaking tends to not work in online games, but I haven't experienced that myself, so we'll just have to see how this mechanic is implemented. We see the ability to mark enemies and locations on the fly. This is very similar to spotting in Battlefield 4, in which at the push of a button, a player can mark the location on the map and in real time of enemies, objectives, and buildings. This seems like it may replace the old scan ability, and I wonder if there will be abilities to augment the duration or the effective range of the marking skill. Perhaps being able to mark enemies will be an ability in and of itself and not available to all players right off the bat. We also see the return of the old CQC. You'll be able to both hold enemies in your clutches and simply throw them down to the ground for a quick knockout. Until we see how the ability functions, that's pretty much all I can say on that front. The traps look fantastic and incredibly varied. There are traps that can eject you from the game entirely, and the adorable dog trap which seems to function as magazines did, and the team emphasis returns with the ability to rescue teammates from traps. And then there's the Metal Gear Mech. The trailer didn't show this, but undoubtedly you will be able to use vehicles in the final game. That said, I wasn't expecting playable Metal Gear mechs. Will these mechs be something akin to kill streaks in Call of Duty, or will they be available from the start as vehicles are in Battlefield 4? For me, I hope there's some sort of Drebin point system similar to that in MGO2, with which players who accomplish objectives, help teammates, and get kills will be able to buy access to the mech and call it in as an assault strike of sorts. I hope all the assault strikes and support strikes work like that actually. I'd hate for matches to start and for people to run straight for the mech as their one and only strategy. And I'd also hate for something so cool in a team-based game to be reserved only to those who get kills. Kill stealing in MGO2 was an issue for teammates, and people would turn against their own mates in a second if one person knocked out a guy but another person killed the guy. People should get proportional points for contributing whether or not they get the kill. This means getting points for marking enemies, knocking enemies out, killing enemies, catching enemies in traps, securing objectives, saving teammates from traps, waking teammates up, and getting assists, among other things. But I digress. The coolest part about the Metal Gear mech wasn't so much the mech's sheer destructive force, but rather the ability to stealth kill the driver of the mech and steal it from him. You can seamlessly take the driver out and take his vehicle in one fell swoop. No doubt this would have to be done from behind the driver's back, but I wonder too if it will have to be a special skill or if players will be able to do so inherently. I also wonder if you will be able to similarly take out the drivers of tanks and other vehicles. Finally, the presence of Ocelot seems to confirm that unique characters will make a return. Unique characters have always been in Metal Gear Online, and it's great to see that they'll get their chance to shine once more. I hope they add many hours of fun gameplay to the game. In the press conference, the Kojima Productions spokesperson emphasized that the game is still just a work in progress, so many of the things I noted here are just speculation. That said, just seeing the trailer made me feel strongly that the core fans of Metal Gear Online have not been forgotten, and the experience we loved will come back to us at full force. KPLA also mentioned that they would like to receive fan feedback via Facebook and Twitter, so if you're a fan of Metal Gear Online, make your voice heard by tweeting at Metal Gear Online. For me, in addition to the things I already mentioned, I want the following. No timeline or other limitations on what equipment will be made available to purchase or wear. Introduction of female characters and male characters along with the iconic shirtless option from Metal Gear Online 2. Many clothing and customization selections, regardless of how ridiculous they may seem at the time. A streamlined game and lobby select system to make sure we get into the games we want as quickly as we can. A better system for transferring the host of lobbies from one person to another and for kicking out problem players to avoid petty issues we suffered in the past game. A comprehensive scoring system to give points for various contributions to the team, not just kills. The ability to use said points to purchase equipment for future loadouts or to call in assault and support strikes for one's team. And finally, a non-divisive ranking system which encourages teamwork, fair play, and sportsmanship as opposed to the Metal Gear Online 2 ranking system which pulled players apart. Anything else I haven't mentioned I will in future videos, but all in all I am very excited for Metal Gear Online and for Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, coming to us hopefully sometime in 2015. Thanks to Hideo Kojima and Kojima Productions Japan and LA for making video games so memorable and joyous for us to take part in.